Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Taurus for November 2015. I am trying on a new format that includes individual horoscopes as I have always done them for each sign, which this is, and a separate additional video called November 2015 Astrology All Signs. This separates out the general transits with the ones that are just for you, but without doing both of those, it will be incomplete because there's so many important things that are general implications that you will feel and need to know about that I'm not covering in this video. So definitely make yourself a note right now, after you're done watching this, to go do a search on my channel, November 2015 Astrology for All Signs, and then you'll have the complete picture. And November is so exciting, so you definitely want to get all the details about that. Also, go to my website, aspiritualspark.com, where you can see more about my growing list of self-development tools, mostly priced between $16 and $26, so that they're accessible to everyone who is a willing soul on their conscious evolution, wanting to make headway on that conscious evolution. That's my department. So check that out, and while you're there, sign up for my free email newsletter and become part of my community. So a quick general overview of the month of November is that we've been waiting for this time for a long time, and it's very exciting, yay! So the first 3 weeks of November, we have all green lights. When you hit one green light, you automatically hit all the other green lights and you're in the flow, and it's awesome. And this is the time we've been waiting for. So since the spring, we've had Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, and that lasted well into October. So this is the first full month that we're not dealing with those things, and that most of the eclipse dramas have been revealed, and we're getting back to a place of center from that big news, whether it was great news or whether it was challenging news, kind of like a return to some semblance of normalcy, or what the new normal is already happening now in November. So these first 3 weeks are very magical, and I talk about more details as to why that is, but your big launches, your decision making, your any movement forward on anything is perfect for the first 3 weeks of November. The last week in November is a little bit dicey, and I talk about that and what I suggest to be a spiritual ninja throughout that time. You can see that in the general video. So what's up just for Taurus? We've got strong focus for all placements of Taurus, early, middle, and late on the 5th house. Each of you have different energies depending on where your placements are, but very consistently, early, middle, and late have the energy of Jupiter, long-term transit, North Node, long-term transit, Mars and Venus, shorter-term transit, but still happening all at the same time, and the magical conjunction between Venus and Mars that happens on November 2nd. So you're all experiencing this energy in the 5th house. Now, some of you very early degree placements already have this Jupiter, North Node, Venus, Mars, and then Venus, Mars conjunction thing happening in your 6th house. But some of you early degree placements are going to have it in the 5th house, and the rest of you middle and late degree placements will have that there. So either which way, strong energy on everything 5th house. The 5th house is the house of creativity, both children and other creative projects, and all the things that led up to the actual creation. So in the case of a child, it's true love and romance and conception and birthing and the child, and then energies around the child and what they bring to your life. And for other things that are creative projects that aren't children, it's the hobbies, the pleasure, the fun, the inspiration that leads to the creation that is embodied in that 5th house. So all of those things are 5th house things, and all of those things are strong focus for Taurus this month. All of you each also have strong focus on the 6th house. As I said earlier, the earlier degree placements have that Jupiter, Venus, Mars, North Node, and Venus, Mars conjunction energy in the 6th house. North Node is a very important placement that I don't talk about very often. One of my apprentices pointed this out. She said, why don't you ever talk about the North Nodes in the horoscopes? And it's because there's so many things to talk about that I just haven't added it in, but I'm going to try to add it in. The North Node is so important, especially in the natal chart, which is kind of funny that I don't talk about it, because if I look at your chart and we have a personal session, a lot of what we talk about has some basis in this North Node, because this is your area of highest expression in this lifetime. It's a big placement. So when we have it in transit, it's showing us energetic keys to your highest expression in this lifetime. So for you earlier degree placements, that's housed in the 6th house. For you middle to later degree placements, that's housed in the 5th house, still in transit. Okay, so back to the 6th house, you middle degree placements have Mercury, the Sun, and some of you will have the new moon. And then you later degree placements have Mercury, the Sun, and all of you will have the new moon there. So regardless of what flavor of focus you're having, each of those placements bring a certain flavor to, they're like characters at a party or individuals at a party, and the party is taking place in the 6th house, and each of the characters brings a different flavor or energy to the party, which is in the 6th house, but the party's still in the 6th house. The 6th house has to do with your health, your diet, your regimen, your interactions with the medical community, so diagnostics, medical visits, whether they're mainstream or alternative, acupuncture, yoga, energy work, anything having to do with your health is there, meditation. Also office-related things, what your work life is like, your workplace circumstances, your workplace experiences. If you work from home, it will be there. It's like the quality of the experience that you have, where you are every day, what's the normal daily thing for you, is the 6th house. So that gets a lot of strong focus for all Taurus placements, is that quality of experience of what's going on around you all day and how you can make that better. You early and some of you middle degree placements also have a focus on the 7th house. Now for the rest of you, still pay attention, because even though this isn't happening for you yet, this is where all that energy in the 5th and 6th house is going next. So over time, in the not too distant future, all of you are going to have strong energy here in the 7th house. And the 7th house is all about personal relationships, one-on-one relationships with clients, with your neighbor who is a person of importance to you, with your spouse, with your business partner, with your good friends. One-on-one relationships are the 7th house. So the early degree placements have Mercury moving through there, have the Sun moving through there, have the new moon there. Some of you middle degree placements will have the new moon there. The rest of you, as I said, that happens in the 6th house. So prominent focus on relationships happening or coming. How you create win-win circumstances. What are challenges in your relationships that have to be worked out? A growing energy towards seeing what your relationships need and really spending time tending to them. It's like a garden, if we don't weed it, it's not going to be the way we want it to be. And when you have these personal planets moving through each of these different houses, it's like you're weeding different sections of your full garden, which is your chart, so maybe you're weeding the front section, maybe you're weeding the back section, and that's what all of these houses represent. It's some area of your life that requires attention of different kinds. So really going in and tending to your personal relationships is a theme that is only going to get stronger for each of you. So the new moon happens on November 11th. This happens in Scorpio, 19 degrees of Scorpio. This is a time to plant seeds. Brilliant astrologer Jan Spiller says if you make new moon wishes, which she says you have 10 of those, if you make them based on the sign that they occur in, I also add if you make them based on the house that they occur in for you, then they carry further. So the early degree placements and some of you middle degree placements want to focus on relationships. The rest of you middle degree placements and later degree placements want to focus on the 6th house, the health, the daily routine, etc. And all of you want to focus on Scorpio. And Scorpio energy has to do with debt and credit and joint finances and sweepstakes and lottery and shared money and shared resources and esoteric studies and deep psychological mysteries are all there. So you can plant seeds along those lines. The full moon happens November 25th. You early degree placements will have this fullness, completion, fruition happening in your 2nd house. You middle to later degree placements will have this fullness, completion, coming to fruition happening in your 1st house. I always like to plan a little energy, a little space around the full moon, even the several days before, because something's going to be intense in some way, and it could be that something comes to fruition that you've always wanted or that you've been working on. But it could mean that you have drama and you just want to leave the space to enjoy something wonderful that comes or deal with something challenging that comes. So your early degree placements might have some drama around money or some personal item of value. And the rest of you, this full moon energy has to do with your physical self and your physical needs, and whether it's kind of like a what about me energy, you know? So when the full moon happens there, you start to like ask the question, what about me? I'm doing this for all these other people, and what about me? So it's like almost like at the full moon, you're just like pulling your hair out this way and saying, what about me? And that's kind of the energy of it. Or there could be something that comes to you as a recognition and it's saying, here's what about you, you know? So it could be a positive thing as well. So I can't see what's going on in your individual chart. If you would like some assistance with that, you can check out my coaching reading package on my website, aspiritualspark.com. You can see more about my growing list of apprentices that are ready to assist you. You can sign up for my free email newsletter, which I highly recommend if you resonate with my work, because you get a monthly write-up of the month ahead, the highlights of the things that are coming in a written version, and other perks that you get as well. And often I make offerings that only my community knows about. So if you're interested in things I might offer in the future, that will be really cool. That might be your only way to find out about them, because I don't always do videos about those. So check that out, aspiritualspark.com. Check out my list of growing self-development tools on the site. And I hope you have a wonderful November. Bye.